Hello, welcome back to the channel. It's a bright, beautiful day today, and I have a lot of plants to plant out today. Actually, just dahlias. Yesterday I spent pretty much, I don't know, I spent 3-4 hours planting out dahlias. I started from seed. I planted out, what else did I plant out? Snapdragons and coneflowers and all sorts of stuff. And that was mostly behind you guys on the other side of the flower garden there. And yeah, I'm really hoping that this summer is just going to be an explosion of color and flowers in the flower garden. Really looking forward to it. But today I'm going to be working here in the dahlia garden because I have tubers I need to get in the ground. I have potted plants I need to get in the ground. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that was in the ground last time we talked about this. Not a lot of this stuff had come up, and I was worried that a lot of it died. But now a lot of it has come up, and it's putting on good growth, and I'm real excited about that. Some of the stuff hasn't come up, which is fine. Some of these dahlias I have 2s or 3s of, so if one doesn't survive but another one does, that's fine. And again, in time, once, not this year, but maybe next spring or definitely the following year, I'm going to be digging quite a few of these up, and then I'll be dividing the tubers because the tubers underground will just be getting so large. Again, I'm in growing zone 8A for you, those of you who might be new to the channel, and I leave my dahlias in the ground. And during the winter time, I just put on a nice thick layer of mulch to help protect them from any frosts or freezing. And thankfully, most of what I had came back. So I'm grateful for that. The other reason that some of these may not have come back is simply because they cannot take or tolerate the heat or the moisture. And that's something that I've learned recently over the past year from A, experience, and B, listening to other YouTubers. There's a gentleman, and I've mentioned it before on this channel, I believe it's Dahliholic. Jeff is the gentleman's name, and I think his wife is Heather. They have a garden in England, and it's 99.9% dahlias. It's incredible, and Jeff is really, really, really fanatical about dahlias. And he has experienced, and he's learned over the years of doing all the dahlia stuff, that not every dahlia will grow in every environment, every place. There are dahlias that are advertised to grow where he is in England, and he puts them in his garden, and they don't perform well. And then he just says, you know what, this is not going to be a good performer for my garden. Out it goes, and he'll put something else, you know, he'll get something else. Or he has certain varieties that he knows are strong performers for him every year, and that's only come through time and experience. Either way, I'm rambling on like I often do. If you're new to the channel, I kind of do quite a bit of rambling, and sometimes the video seems a bit skippy, and that's just me trying to edit out a lot of the rambling because I don't work off a script. So yeah, so let me talk about the varieties I'm going to be planting up today, and then just get to planting. Right here I have a bunch of planted, potted tubers. Some of these actually, when they came to me from, I believe it was White Flower Farm, they were in very poor condition, and I actually had no idea if they were going to grow. And when I mean poor condition is, White Flower Farm shipped me an entire tuber clump, and pretty much all of the tubers were broken at the necks. So if you've ever seen a dahlia clump, there's the old stem, and then there's a little base, and then you have the tubers shooting off of it. If I remember, I'll put a picture over here. And what you need to grow a dahlia is an eye, which is usually at the end of the neck, and then of course you'll have a little neck, and then the fat tuber itself. If you don't have that, if that neck is broken after the eye, nothing's going to grow. And, you know, the eye needs the tuber because that's where all the energy for the new plant comes from. So they came in pretty bad condition. So I potted up what I thought might grow, and I do actually have some plants, which I'm pretty excited about. So this one here is Fuzzy Wuzzy, and pretty excited. I think I've had Fuzzy Wuzzy before, I'm not sure, but we'll see what happens there. This one is David Howard. I don't think I've ever had David Howard before, so that'll be pretty fun. Next up, we have another David Howard. So here's an example where I purchased one, and they got shipped to me as a clump, but most of the clump was utterly destroyed, but I thought there were at least 2 good tubers. Again, you need that eye, and then there's a little neck, and then there's the tuber itself. Obviously, 2 survived, so that's always a plus. I have Melody Dora. That's a nice one. Pooh. I had to get Pooch simply because of the name. It's funny. I mean, you know, it's either Winnie the Pooh or, yeah. Of course, there's my redskin dahlias, which I've grown from seed. And I think that's it for the potteds. Yes, okay. So let's go look at the tubers that I have to plant up. In front of me, which you can't see, I have 2 trays. The first tray, I have 4 tubers from Swan Island Dahlias. If you've never purchased from Swan Island Dahlias, that's their shtick. That's what they do. They grow dahlias. It's good company. I've dealt with them for numerous years now. I've bought many dahlias from them, and they ship their dahlias as just a single tuber, not a tuber clump, single tuber. This way it gets to you in the best condition. And from that tuber, a plant should grow. But I have several in this tray. I have Miss Rose Fletcher. I have Happy Day, Teddy. I think I've grown Teddy last year, but it didn't survive. So we're going to try it again. If it doesn't survive again, it's a variety that I just won't plant ever here ever again. It may have died because of the cold and or the damp that we had over the winter time. Dahlias don't like to be cold, nor do they like to be damp, and the tubers will often rot in the ground if they get the slightest bit of freeze or cold, and it's yeah. Anyways, and then Marry Me. And I think I have Marry Me somewhere behind me, or again, I planted it last year and it didn't survive. One or the other. In the other tray, I have Lilac Thyme. I love Lilac Thyme. Again, I think I have that somewhere here behind me, and if I don't, well, it's gonna get planted out now. Picasso, Fuzzy Wuzzy. I just love the name, Fuzzy Wuzzy. Ryan C. and Hulin's Carnival. And then the last one I got from White Flower Farm is Cornell. Now Cornell, I think I have that someplace, I'm not sure. But again, the clump came to me as a bit of a mess, but I'm looking at it now and there are eyes pushing up, which is always a good thing. Let me stop talking and start planting. And what I'm gonna do to explain to you real quick. So some of these poles you see here behind me, they're just stakes to help support the plants as they go up, because many of these plants get to 4 and 5 feet tall, taller in some instances. And what I try to do is keep the shorter ones towards the front, taller ones towards the back. Let me show you over here. Over here, I've mixed up a whole wheelbarrow full of compost, and the products I'm using here is actually mushroom compost, because that's what my local nursery carries, and what they call plant pleaser, which is cow manure and wood chips. And that all that should provide a lot of nutrition, and it should turn around and allow a lot of free drainage, because again, dahlias don't like to sit in water. It's a no-no. So let's stop talking, let's start planting. The other thing you may have noticed, and I kind of do apologize, but such is life, there's a lot of wispy little grasses that are around here. That's fake garlic. It's fake garlic, otherwise known as crow's poison apparently. The only way I think I can get rid of it is by continuously pulling up the leaves, and thus over time the bulbs underneath will just get too weak and then they die off. Okay, so nothing really grew here. So let's dig into here, make sure. Yeah, I don't see anything here, which is a good thing. I got a lot of mulch here. If this is your first time watching me do anything with dahlias or anything with this bed, real quick. So this bed was set up no dig like many of my other beds. Now, knowing that dahlias really like drainage, I did take a couple of extra steps. I turned around and aerated the ground, and then I turned around and put down quite a bit of gypsum. Hopefully that would soften the ground beneath. Then I layered my cardboard on top, and then I put my compost on top of that. So there's 2 to 3 inches of compost already down. The cardboard that was down is gone. It's all rotted away. Critters have eaten it, and nature has dissolved it, etc., etc. But what I have been doing is trying to plant my dahlias just a little bit higher. So I almost created like a mound, and and since there's so much mulch here, that mulch also breaks down. And as the mulch breaks down, it adds to the bed as well. The other thing I'm going to do this year is I'm going to turn around probably July-ish or so. I'm going to get a product that my local nursery has called Kickin' Chicken. And apparently it's cow manure and chicken manure all mixed into one. It's like a fertilizer. And I'm going to be spreading that on this bed too, because dahlias, they are apparently allegedly heavy feeders from what I understand. Again, if you think I'm wrong on any of this, because I am not an expert, please leave those comments below. Or if you've grown dahlias before and you have any experience to share, again, please leave those comments below. I very much appreciate them. Anyway, so yeah, just going to fill this spot here with the blend that I talked about a second ago. I'm going to put my dahlia in there, and hopefully, yeah, we'll have an awesome plant here. We're going to put Fuzzy Wuzzy here. Nice roots, real nice roots. Tuck that in nice. Push back the mulch. Fuzzy Wuzzy is supposed to get 4 foot tall, so this stake should be plenty for it. So there's one. I have a whole lot more to do, so let me get to it. Okay, there we go. All my dahlias planted up. Actually, I might have 1 or 2 more. I have to check the bench, but for now, we're done. Whew, yeah, that was a rough planting. There was one spot down towards the end, and, ooh, pardon me, a little warm. And then another spot right here, which had fire ants. So thankfully I was wearing my gloves, but unfortunately they only protect my fingers and not my wrists. So my wrists got bit up pretty good. Yeah, and then I got some bites on my ankle because apparently I was kneeling in an ant pile and didn't know it. So they went up my boot and then got past my sock. And had I not been wearing pants, it would have been much, much worse because I was kneeling basically in them. So yeah, that was fun. Just one of the many challenges I face here in Eastern North Carolina. I did give the dahlias all a light watering, and that's simply because today's gonna be 80 degrees. I think tomorrow's supposed to be basically the same. So it's very warm. I know a lot of the experts out there say you shouldn't water your dahlias right away, so to let them get acclimated. But again, it's pretty warm out and we don't have rain. We may get rain Saturday, Sunday, maybe, but you know, we may not. So I just wanted to give them just a light watering just to help settle them in. Honestly, the mulch probably absorbed most of it. But that being said, hopefully this whole bed is going to be a riot of color come the summertime. So if you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click that bell icon to be notified when I do post up a new video. And again, you don't have to watch all my videos. I would like it if you watched all my videos. But if you hit that bell icon, you'll be notified when I do post up a video, and you can take a look, see if it's something that you're interested in. I may be working in the garden, I may be working in the flower garden, I may be, you know, deadheading dahlias here. Who knows? If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you want to help support me get some Band-Aids for my wrists here, check out the links below. Maybe get yourself a t-shirt. Keep calm and garden on. That is the theme of the day. Oh, I could have easily quit at any time, but I decided to just keep plowing on. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today. I'm going to catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.